Well, it's about time I did a better job of a hurricane. See, I've sealed the fate of this one now, haven't I? I'm going to make a right mess of it. It's about time I attempted to do a better job of the magnificent Hawker Hurricane than I did in, I think, probably the third or fourth film I ever made, which was a shambles, because I think I didn't have instructions and I didn't have the markings. So let's have a go, and this is just a straightforward Airfix model, simplicity itself. I probably shouldn't say simplicity itself either, should I? But you know, the basics, the stripped down utilitarian model that Airfix are brilliant at, and I am looking forward to it. I am a huge devotee of the Hurricane. Whoa, am I going to have it with the wheels down? I don't know. And it's one of those that has the black and white underside. Fantastic. Okay, let's get it open, look at it, and think about what I'm going to do. I was wrong about the stripped back, simple utilitarian model there, wasn't I? This could be a far bigger scale than a number of parts, quality of detail, all of that. Look at that. So, I just hope I do it justice. Just the basic undercoat done, really. The brown's a little too pale, but I've got the right colour in one of those tiddly pots, and I've done all of the underside white for the minute, because white is the thinner colour, so it'd be harder to paint white over black than black over white. All simple stuff, kind of thing you learn in infant school. So yeah, that's about my level. Right, so far lots of little bits all doing at the same time. That's the vent air intake at the bottom, bits of the undercarriage housing, the foot bit floor, I suppose it is, a nice little cradle which just needs a little bit of smartening up, and then obviously all going in the interior, which isn't completely painted yet. So put them all, smarten them up, glue them all together, and it will be moving on swiftly. I like the way these little ones do that. Suddenly, whoosh, and they're done. Brilliant. Now that's a really nice idea. They've put, I suppose it's not the floor then, is it? I got that wrong. They've put the kind of pedals control section. You attach it to the floor, which is integral to the upper side of the wings. So lots of problems are solved there. There you go, you see, and there's a little bit of paintwork for the interior of the wheel housing, undercarriage housing. So yeah, you get things like the angle of the wings okay. They should sit neatly into the body okay, and all this is helping guide it in. So if I've made it all correctly, it should work out fine. Well, the fuselage was interestingly a struggle. Let's say it was a perfect fit, which means everything else has to be perfect, and particularly the back there needed a lot of wiggling and jiggling to get in place, so now it needs a repaint, but everything does actually fit. So as I say, a perfect fit. I'm coming on to this shortly, and I know that I've just settled them together, but it's very springy, so that's going to need, once again, perfect locating, and then a bit of force to hold it all down, get the pegs out, possibly even more. So this, tell you what, I haven't tried putting those two together, because this could be quite telling. Sorry about the darkness. Not that it's particularly, not that I've put everything in place particularly well, but That's going to be another. There we go. Good. Ooh, if only I got the underside of the wing lined up. Visually looks better. This really is a very well crafted model. Nice one, Airfix. Say no more. I have to say, so far, everything has fit together really rather smartly. I have needed to, you know, wiggle and jiggle things, and I have needed to apply the pegs, but actually once you apply the pressure, once you do the wiggling and jiggling, it comes out really well. The fit is superb. It's got nothing to do with me, it's got an awful lot to do with Airfix at their best, and just truly excellent model design. So well done them. Right, if I'm going to have the wheels down for a change, then might as well have an interesting chap sitting in the cockpit. And this is from the Revel. Actually, he's from the Luftwaffe, but I think given the amount of detail we're going to get and the amount of him we're going to see, then I think if this focuses, anyway, I think he'll be alright. And wasn't that Revell set made by somebody else, somebody like Hasegawa, or maybe not, but similar. I know somebody else made them first. Anyway, it's a really nice set, and I like this figure, and he's going to go in. I think if he fits, we'll have to experiment with that shortly. So at long last we are up to this point. I don't really know what this point is, so that's about as far as I can take that. I'm going to have to, I think the next thing to do is put the pilot in and then get on with the undercarriage. So we're sort of in limbo, waiting for me to make my mind up, and about halfway through, maybe just over. It's all gone very nicely though. So here we are outside on a windy day, which is unfortunate because it's getting blown about a bit, and it's kind of done. Everything came along rather swiftly. I had to get the wheels sorted, and then the cockpit went on, and we're there really. Propeller as well, which have I missed the little yellow bits on the propeller? Anyway, now we're going to get the standard joke, but a variation on a theme. There you go. How about that? So I better get it back in. This this is just a bit too blowy, and oh, I don't know, chaos really, isn't it? So here we go, back indoors. Let's go in the kitchen. Well, I've completely given up with the outside, and the other thing is I forgot to paint the little yellow tips on the propellers. So here is the Hurricane done. It's very interesting. It's a great model actually. Everything just went so well with it. Only a couple of little blips here and there, and I suppose skill helps. But the interesting thing is it's a lot better than the one I did very early on, but at the same time there's still a long way to go. It's a very, very interesting process, and yeah, still enjoying it. In fact, this, like doing one that you've done before, is a really interesting thing to do. So we may see a few objects sort of make a return visit via you know, a second try, or a different manufacturer, I guess. Still, one day I'll get round to the Wellington and I'll get round to a Lancaster, and one of my favourites that I'm kind of saving up, I haven't bought it yet but I will one day, one of my real childhood favourites, the Flying Fortress. Bristling with guns and other things. So that's for the future. Right now, here we are, one Hurricane, somewhat better. And then out the kitchen window, oh, cut that tree down. That was a Hercules. There's been quite, or something like it. There's been quite a few of them going over today. I think another one's on the way. There it is. I don't know if they're going round in circles. Somebody said I should show some stills. I usually do some stills by pressing the wrong button on the camera. So I've got some. So there's a few. What's really niggling me though is I had one of those kind of vacuum formed mini diorama things of a Nissan hut and a bit of ground in front of it, which I've used in other films, and this would have been perfect for it. Wheels down, little bloke hanging out of the cockpit. Could have even added a couple of other fellas on the ground, but can't find it. Whenever you want these things you can't find them, can you? So we'll make do with this, and if I find it one day I might actually paint up some fellas and put them on. Never mind. Right, anyway, that's it, done. We're going to have, I don't know what next. I'm feeling like doing something a bit weird. How do you fancy something a bit weird? What is weird? Oh no, there's the cooker. What is weird, eh? No idea.